Well, greetings. I've got all my paperwork back together. I got my claim file. I was turned down by the artist. I wasn't crafty enough for them. Oh well. Um, this is life. I'll survive. Some people aren't um, doing real well, and prayers go out to good friends who are dealing with deaths in their family and serious illnesses as well. Um, a lot of spirits talking to me, telling me just stay the fuck off those sites and don't talk to them people. Talk about them at the mosque, but don't talk to them. I wanted to read a few things for sure. I don't even have that up anymore. I was closing everything down, thinking I was going to. Well, first let's get the idiots out of the way. Kiwi Farms is down. It's still unclear whether near BYUU has faked his suicide or really did commit suicide. I've got an email inquiry out to the consul in Tokyo, and if I don't hear back from him by tomorrow, I'm going to call the State Department in Washington and see what I can get out of them. Meanwhile, let's see what's going on with this. Josh posted some shit, and he's begging. P.S. New hardware is expensive. Fuck yeah. And a bunch of code. But he also posted this link to a video of like 43 seconds of the most like seriously misinformed homophobic crap I've ever seen. And I don't, and it has nothing to do with near. Let's go from let's sort this shit by newest. Let's see what's. Let's see where the. Okay, well, there's 487 people like it, and only 108 people don't like it, and there was 107 that didn't like it like a couple hours ago when I was here. There's some interesting comments, though. Let me find them. It's like the strange Japanese animation. I mean, this is totally full of like garbage statistics. So if Josh had just taken the sad man's money and bought a house, this never could have happened until the next time someone complained that they couldn't close a web page, then made fun of them. Yeah, no, that's not how it works. It doesn't matter that BYU initiated the conversation. The second Noel accepted his offer, it would have been considered extortion on his part. He'd been held liable for it, which would have certainly done the whole damn site. Extortion is fun though. You'd have a swank house. When a normie fails to realize that Kiwi Farms is the largest autism containment measure in history, you're all trapped in a larger internet with us when our playpen is down. Where's what happened to this? They got buried. Oh, here it is. Well, there's somebody who was interesting, but this is not the one. That's how many views it has. Doesn't it? It had 2,000 views 3 hours ago. We're up to 4,000. So, our Kiwi Farms is not that small, but they're not that big either. Okay, enough of that shit. Let's see what the idiots are up to. Not much there. Lars a sick fuck. I ain't gonna repeat that shit. That's just one really sick motherfucker. I'll be sure, here's Jimmy Webster, also known as Dr. Hugh G. Rexon. Shank is Commander Shank of the South Tucson Police. Shank is a ponce and will do what Hoffman says. I'm going to be face to face with Shank when I tell him this one. see if he squirmed. Eric Merzak squirmed when I told him about that shit. He was probably dirty as fuck. No, I don't. Yeah, these people believe what they want to believe. In Wisconsin in 1990, I think it was, Benny Maysel was running for governor, and me and Bilbo Baggins were in my motorhome in the last days before the election helping out. And we were camped out behind a little park on State Street. And he was sleeping in the bushes, and I was sleeping in the rig. And at like dawn, fucking Madison cops shook me down and busted me for mushrooms, my pot pipes, and a vial that had trace quantities of cocaine in it that I found in the garbage can. And I forget exactly how it went down, but I think I took a deal and refused to plead to the coke because it was something I found in the garbage can. I don't know, I thought I got out time served. And apparently there's a bill in Wisconsin. They want me to pay something for that, but the coke was not part of it. Next stupid thing. I mean, these people just don't get anything straight at all. Here, let's see what insanely stupid thing. That's I'm gonna Jimmy, I'm gonna do even less. I'm just gonna talk about it from the web. So that's a bunch of stupid shit that isn't happening. I don't even want to talk about the idiot that, yeah, here, why I'm visiting Tucson. Here I am, just a silly gonzo. I'm just a crazy old hippie artist, activist artist. I have a lot of positions that I take that are controversial, and I take a lot of shit for those positions. And I talk a lot of shit too. So, yeah, let's be realistic. I'm one of them peace love people, and even when I was in top physical condition for me back in the 80s and 90s, I rarely got into physical altercations. That's not in part of my reality, behaving like that. Um, and this person is like, I totally doubt that it's real. I think it's all just a lot of bluster, and um, gaslighting, trying to get me to do stupid things. But here, uh, here's why this idiot's coming to Tucson to kick Tom's fat ass for talking so much shit over the years. Report this to Greg or whoever the fuck else you want to. You're a dementia-ridden oaf, living in literal shit and eating actual garbage. When I beat the fuck out of you, Tom, absolutely no one will believe the internet came alive and showed up on your doorstep. This is the end game now, fat ass. You're not well in the head, son. And it's not gonna go the way you think it's gonna go if you show. But I really don't think you're gonna show. I think you love your anonymity. I think you're a sadomasochistic sociopathic voyeur with delusions of intellect and redeeming social worth. You're all a bunch of self-loathing fucking losers. Totally. Oh, I'm a man of great wealth. And Jimmy's trying to tell me, oh yeah, he's an MMW fighter and he can run 6 miles without breaking a sweat. Stroke me, boys. Show up at the door or shut the fuck up. So anyway, let's get on to away from the idiots and into the real news. I can't really talk about this, but there was a murder in the family, so to speak. I don't have the details, and I can't say more. Just a good friend this is like fourth death in as many weeks. Okay, here's Ian Raven posted. If your vagina or penis was named after the last TV show, movie you watched, what would it be? I don't think so, man. Oh, shit. What's he get 8 years for? Justin Resnicek sentenced to 8 years, followed by three years supervised probation and whoa. A restitution of $3,198,512.70 paid to Energy Transfer LLC for the action she took in 2016 to stop the Dakota Access Pipeline. They enhanced it as domestic terrorism. What did she do? I'm not sure what she actually, it doesn't say what she did. Hmm. Oh, today's Canada Day. We got Mounties and Catholics dragging Indian natives away. Bonne fête du Canada. An open letter employing. What is this? Is it Gaza that they're pissing about? They want, it says an open letter imploring President Biden to end airstrikes outside any recognized battlefield and abandon this war-based approach and chart a path forward that promotes and respects our collective human security. Okay, oh no, that was airstrikes, American airstrikes in Kobani, Syria. Oh, well, that was 2014. What the fuck? How old is this? Oh, this is from yesterday. Guys, just a demand to stop the forever wars. But what are you gonna make? What are bomb manufacturers gonna make? Oh, geez, I don't know if I can even get into too much of this. There's so much. It's just come pouring out about the residential schools. This one's in Saskatchewan. It's time to face the facts about humanity and humanity's bad behavior toward each other and how the churches, those church-state fiefdoms, settler colonial projects, the industrialists. And it was Donald Rumsfeld's passing that's got everybody talking today. And he's one of those people that is very hard to say anything good about him if you really understand what his life was about. And everybody's talking about the mass murder that he was involved with after 9/11. Here's some truth out. Rumsfeld has not controversially played a leading role in mass murder. What is being kind of soft pedaled right now? Let's see if we can find it easily. I'm not. I'm blocked at Facebook, so I don't have things up there, and I just something like I looked earlier and closed it. Where the fuck is it? There it is. There's that. Let's get that opened because we're going to read that, and we're going to read. Let's see if this has been open on Caitlin. No. Let's get back to it. I'll read Caitlin Johnstone's thing. Iraq War architect Donald Rumsfeld has died. The title of this is "The System Isn't There to Protect Us from the Criminals. It's to protect criminals from us." Not in a prison cell in The Hague, not murdered by bombs or bullets, but peacefully in his home, surrounded by loved ones a week and a half shy of his 89th birthday. The imperial media are giving their fallen master a king's tribute with headlines describing the psychopathic war criminal as a cunning leader, a man of honor and conviction, or simply as former secretary at helm of Iraq-Afghanistan wars. The cancerous Washington Post, who just the other day mocked the life of the late anti-war hero Mike Gravel with an obituary branding him the gadfly senator from Alaska with flair for the theatrical, describes the child killer Rumsfeld as the influential but controversial Bush defense secretary in its headline about his death. The New York Times wasn't much better. Take the headline, Mike Gravel, unconventional two-term Alaska senator, dies at 91. He made headlines by fighting for an oil pipeline and reading the Pentagon Papers aloud. After 25 years of obscurity, he reemerged with a chaotic presidential campaign. Compared this to the headline, Donald Rumsfeld, defense secretary during Iraq War, is dead at 88. Mr. Rumsfeld, who served 4 presidents, oversaw a war that many said should never have been fought. But he said the removal of Saddam Hussein had created a more stable and secure world. There's been criticism as well, of course. Online sentiments about Rumsfeld's death have not been nearly as worshipful or hagiographic as they have been toward other disgusting war horrors like John McCain. But in the end, all that matters is that he lived a long, full life without ever having faced even the slightest single consequence for the horrors he unleashed upon our world, without even so much as sustaining any meaningful damage to his reputation. This, despite the fact that it's been public knowledge for years that Rumsfeld began orchestrating the unforgivable invasion of Iraq within hours of the 9/11 attacks and told numerous lies in order to set that invasion in motion. He also oversaw the intervention in Afghanistan, which he and his Bush administration cohorts had been planning before 9/11. Beginning a decades-long occupation about which the public has been pervasively lied to from the very beginning by U.S. officials in general and by Rumsfeld in particular. But remember, kids, only crazy conspiracy theorists question the official narrative about 9/11. When we are little, we are taught that we live in a nation of laws where bad guys are thrown in prison by the good guys who are in charge of things. Because our mental program continues for the rest of our lives in the form of mass-scale propaganda designed to manufacture consent for the status quo. Now, this is very real. You know, this is one of my own crusades right there. Is the manufacture of consent, and the silencing of dissent. Most of us tend to hold on to this childish model of the world to some extent through adulthood. In reality, exactly 0% of the world's worst people are in prison, but some of the best people are. The fact that Donald Rumsfeld lived a long life of freedom while Julian Assange wastes away in Belmarsh prison proves the world doesn't work the way we were taught in school. The very worst bad guys are not put in prison by the good guys who run things, because the very worst bad guys are the ones who run things. The system isn't designed to protect us from society's worst. It's designed to protect society's worst from us. It's designed to keep us turning the gears of industry without looking around and noticing that we're all getting fucked in the ass by an alliance of plutocrats and security state insiders who only care about power and money. It's designed to keep us busy, too busy, and propagandized to use the power of our numbers to take back what the bastards have stolen from us, and to make sure there's enough guns on their side to kill us dead if we try. Donald Rumsfeld was all the worst things about our world. He perfectly embodied the corrupt, bloodthirsty, ecocidal, omnicidal, oppressive, exploitative, deceitful status quo that is driving humanity toward extinction. The U.S. centralized empire is Donald Rumsfeld. It might as well have his face and name. Don't let his passing fool you. Donald Rumsfeld is dead. It makes me Ariel Sharon. Never mind. He had to be there. But he is also as alive as ever. He lives on in the continued violence he helped initiate in the Middle East, in the death and destruction rained down by the U.S. and its allies in the name of preserving a unipolar world order that none of us have ever asked for, in the dying gas of starving children under imperial blockades in Yemen and Venezuela, in thousands of U.S. military bases encircling our planet like a noose. That sounds like too many. How many bases are there? You know, she tends to get a little bit hyperbolic sometimes. And I know there were bases in 130 some odd countries. Yeah, sorry, Han. You know, there's not even 1,000. They're admitting to. Politico says 800. You know, if you add the ones in the United States, maybe there's a little over 1,000. Oh, and this is like at her climax. In the warships and missiles pivoting toward China in preparation for the long-anticipated confrontation, which should terrify us all. Unless we can purge from ourselves everything within us that resembles Donald Rumsfeld, there is no future for Homo sapiens on this planet. We must evolve everything he stood for as individuals, as society, move into a peaceful and collaborative relationship with each other. You really should stick to this kind of writing, baby. You know, you get hyperbolic like that. There's only 800 military bases. But the thing that I wanted to point out to her and everybody else about this is that nobody seems to have recalled the man's connections to G.D. Searle, the company that brought aspartame into the world, and his role in its having found its way into thousands of food products. Foreign wars pale in contrast to the harm that men like Rumsfeld and companies like Searle, now a Monsanto subsidiary, are doing to the health of the American people and our agricultural lands. And the article I linked is from Thank Your Body. I don't know what, you know, they're probably selling stuff. Is aspartame dangerous? This is from 2013, Real Food. Is aspartame dangerous? The sneaky story of how aspartame became legal by Robin Coney in 2013, June 12. Is aspartame dangerous? It depends on who you ask. This artificial sweetener has found its way into more than 6,000 products, including carbonated and powdered soft drinks, chewing gum, confections, gelatins, dessert mix, puddings and fillings, frozen desserts, yogurt, tabletop sweeteners, and some pharmaceuticals such as vitamins and sugar-free cough drops. Currently, aspartame is consumed by over 200 million people around the world. That's a lot of food and a lot of people. Looks like the question, is aspartame dangerous, is one we all should be asking. If you head on over to aspartame.org, you'll find lots of reassuring data that indicates that the artificial sweetener has been through the scientific ringer. You'll find endorsements by all kinds of experts and important people. But if you take a look at the history books, the facts paint a different picture. The sneaky history on how aspartame became legal. Born out of an accident, in the mid-1960s, a chemist working for the company by the name of G.D. Searle accidentally created aspartame in a quest to produce a cure for stomach ulcers. Searle puts aspartame through some testing procedures and eventually gets approval by the FDA. Unfortunately, the testing process was among the worst. Not long after approval, the dangers of aspartame brought G.D. Searle under major fire. In fact, aspartame triggered the first criminal investigation of a manufacturer put into place by the FDA in 1977. In 1980, the FDA banned aspartame from use after having 3 independent scientists study the artificial sweetener. Why? Because they found that aspartame came with a high danger of inducing brain tumors. Brain tumors bad. Aspartame banned by the FDA. In January of 1981, Donald Rumsfeld, CEO of Searle, stated in a sales meeting that he was going to call in his markers and make a push to get aspartame approved. That month, Ronald Reagan was sworn in as President of the United States. His transition team included Rumsfeld, who handpicked Dr. Arthur Hull Hayes Jr. to be the new FDA commissioner. Within a couple of months, Hayes appointed a 5-person scientific commission to review the claims on aspartame. In a 3-2 decision, the panel upheld the original ban, stating that the artificial sweetener was unsafe. Despite the panel's decision, Hayes later installed a 6th member on the commission who voted in favor of the making aspartame legal. The vote was now deadlocked. So what happened? Hayes personally broke the tie in aspartame favor. Keep in mind that Dr. Hayes, a pharmacologist, had no previous experience with food additives before he becomes the FDA director. On July 18, 1981, Hayes officially approved the use of aspartame as an artificial sweetener in dry goods. How's this for a kicker? In 1983, Hayes left his post, but at the FDA, later left his post at the FDA amid accusations that he was accepting corporate gifts for political favor. But just before leaving office in scandal, Hayes approved the use of aspartame in beverages. The icing on the cake, in 1985, Xero was absorbed by Monsanto. Donald Rumsfeld reportedly received a $12 million bonus, and the sad tale of fake food and experimentation on the human race continued onward. So is aspartame dangerous? Aspartame accounts for over 75% of the adverse reactions to food additives reported to the FDA. Here are some of the different documented symptoms listed in the report as being caused by aspartame: headaches, migraines, dizziness, seizures, nausea, numbness, muscle spasms, weight gain, rashes, depression, fatigue, irritability, tachycardia, insomnia, vision problems, heart palpitations, breathing difficulty, anxiety attacks, slurred speech, loss of taste, vertigo, joint pain. According to researchers and experts who have studied the dangerous effects of aspartame, the following chronic illnesses can be worsened or even triggered by aspartame: brain tumors, multiple sclerosis, epilepsy, chronic fatigue syndrome, Parkinson's disease, Alzheimer's, lymphoma, fibromyalgia, and birth defects. So what do you think? Is aspartame dangerous? I think I'm going to cut this short. This is another one of those cases where you can find study to prove either side. Aspartame is safe, aspartame is dangerous. However, looking over the history books, I'm reminded why I generally don't trust studies in the first place. The people making the claims can be bought. Now, in my own experience, John Ritter's death was linked to aspartame, and my 2 childhood friends' deaths were linked to aspartame. Seems that aspartame can have some synergistic effects with certain medications. I don't recall what it was that triggered Ritter's heart to go flat, but my friends had been on rheumatoid arthritis medications, and they also both drank a lot of Diet Coke. So is your health worth the risk? In my experience, trusting natural, real food will always win on industrialized imitation fake food sellouts. Just eat real food. It's that simple, guys. Alrighty. So that's the main news. Let's take a quick peek at the at my feeds. Let's see what's going on at my Gmail. I don't read enough of the Gmail. You know, there's so much shit at Facebook to keep up with usually. Oh, come on, what's going on here? Okay, Sunrise got themselves busted in Washington. Some kids blocked the entrances to the White House the other day. Anyway, 75 of them got busted. The Sunrise movement is insisting on climate change mitigation legislation. They're like, hey, we got to quit this. Um, these guys were supposed to send me a tablet a long time ago. Oh, that'd be nice if they're paying for my broadband. Fuck yeah. Yeah, send me a tablet. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's the Obama phone. But not it's a Biden phone. Better just make that Tucson. That sometimes doesn't work. Okay. EBD is enormous. How nice. They want to pay for my internet. Come on. Let's go back to the mail while that's trying to load. Documenting America's path to recovery from Ballotpedia. Expired addiction moratorium in Connecticut, a vaccine incentive initiative in Michigan, vaccine distribution, school closures and reopenings, travel restrictions, federal responses, COVID-19 changes from this time last year. Nothing related to Arizona here. Arizona is not very well vaccinated. And I really, I'm good so far. There was a triage nurse who told me she wouldn't give it to me unless I talked to my doctor first. And the doctor was kind of wishy-washy about it. But the main factor in me not wanting to do it is that the last time I had an anaphylactic shock episode, it was like a day and a half after I got stung that my system freaked out. Not much of interest there either. What's going on here? Attorney General Garland vows billionaire tax leak to ProPublica will be at top of my list to investigate. Massive leak of taxpayer information behind an article by ProPublica. And I'm just going after them. How about going after the insurrectionists? Come on. Fighting hate, suing Nazis. Sounds like a good idea. Oh boy, they opened a new embassy in the which one? The Emirates, the UAR, or UAE. Here's from Mohammed Matter. And this is a young Gazan in his like early to mid 20s. Got a really cool family too. His mom is Jew. Every time I see one of my white European and American friends posting selfies from Jerusalem, I feel like fucked up. I don't know what A7A means. I am a Palestinian. I've never managed to enter Jerusalem and the West Bank. Last time I tried to go to Jerusalem, I was told that I had to give up my Palestinian national number, Palestinian ID and passport, and the German passport doesn't protect me in case Zionists want to arrest me for whatever reason. This is just so not fair. It isn't. I had a request to do a stream on Judaism and a lot of different things about Judaism. Just kind of a general history of it. Guy was interested in the ministry of Sabotage Lee, who was one of the false prophets of the medieval time, false messiahs. Peace, love, and rainbows bring awareness to gender and neurodiversity. Oh, and they found another 182 bodies at a residential school. We're over 1,000 now. But that's Canada. You're not including the Carlisle had some too there, Linda. Stop teaching critical race theory to our kids. We, the parents, stand up. Education, not indoctrination. What the fuck do you think you're doing by teaching them American history the way American history is taught? They're the same picketers from 50, 60 years ago. We oppose race mixing in schools. Okay, this is a bad problem that seems to have happened. This is about dark money. The court ruled in favor of some people in our dark money. And I can't cover what I wanted to cover. Near dead? I don't know. Rumsfeld dead? Yep. Is extra deuce sauce going to come here? I doubt it. And if he does, well, he's going to punch me. I'm going to stand there laughing at him. He's punching a little old lady. Anyway, to all of my relations who are hurting right now and burying loved ones and fighting hard times and hard difficult illnesses. Pray the Mother and Father that bring you comfort, peace, and wellness, well-being. Thanks for watching. Happy day. Bye.